Hey guys, welcome to Stateside Street Podcast, where two Americans discuss all things Coronation Street. My name is Shanika. Amelia is off this week, so I'm going to recap for you all the episodes from February the 16th through February the 20th. So this week we got the start of the Whodunnit. We got a glimpse at the Swarla wedding, Ronnie learning Debbie's secret, and Megan threatening Sam. A whole lot of stuff. How did you all feel about this week's Corrie? So I put up a poll on Twitter over at Stateside Street. Make sure you follow us. And I asked you all how you rate it. And it was a split decision. It was split right down the middle between good and just okay. Personally, I'd rate it as good. I really enjoyed this week's episode, especially the Megan scenes. Thought they were really well done. And, just a reminder, every Wednesday and Friday, we'll be putting out polls just to gauge your reaction to that week's episodes. So make sure you follow us and stay in the loop. Twitter is at Stateside Street. And our Instagram is at Stateside Street Podcast. Make sure you follow us on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, so you can be notified when our episodes drop, and also Podbean as well. We've also got some really cool interviews coming up. I know some of you all are waiting for them. We have some interviews coming up, and I'm really excited about it. So definitely stay tuned, and hope you all will be excited for it as well. All right, so enough rambling. If you guys are ready, let's talk all things Corrie. So, April 23rd. We got two major events happening in April, and it's not just my birthday. It's April 26th, by the way. But we have a wedding. Lisa and Carla are walking down the aisle. This is huge. And if I'm not mistaken, this is Coronation Street's first successful wedding between two women. So that's amazing. I won't get too deep into it because we are going to record a full episode coming in April about our thoughts on swarla, the wedding, and LGBT representation, particularly sapphic representation in soaps. So I'm actually really excited for that. So definitely stay tuned. We have some really good stuff happening. And I wish I could share right now, but I cannot. But definitely want to look out for that. But I will say that this is really an important moment for soaps. It's monumental. I mean, representation in soaps matter so much, and it's really special to see this on our screens. Carla, oh my gosh, Carla Connor. I mean, she done walked down the aisle so many times, so fingers crossed for this one, okay? Fingers crossed for this one. And I really hope that they keep Lisa, and I'm having no doubt they will. They keep her on board and Corrie. They keep Vicky on board with Corrie, and they keep Lisa and Carla together for a good while because I think they have potential to be a long-running super couple, if you will. They definitely have longevity in there, so fingers crossed on that one. But yeah, I'm genuinely so excited to see Swarla get married, honestly. But that's not the only big event that's happening that day. Betsy and Lauren find a body. So we are officially at the start of the Whodunnit. Who are the potential victims? We got Megan, Maggie, Jody, Theo, and Carl. So who do you think is going to go down? And who is the main suspect? Most of our Twitter followers voted for Megan, with Carl coming in second. And honestly, I have to agree. I'm going to go down the list, okay? First of all, I don't think it's Maggie. We still need to find out her connections to the Barlows. I'm actually wondering if Tracy and Ben could be half-siblings, or maybe Steve and Ben are half-siblings. I'm not sure how the timeline works, so I have to go back and rewatch some of the classic Corrie. But either way, there is something she's hiding, and it's connected, and I definitely think it will rock Ben's world. And I don't know, so I really don't think that Maggie is the one to go down, because I still feel like she has a lot of story left. I don't think she's done yet. I really don't. And I definitely don't think it's Jody, at all. No doubt in my mind, I definitely do not think it's Jody. I mean, there's too much we don't know about her past. Like, yeah, she's manipulative, she's sneaky, she's scheming. Yeah, but she's also clearly a victim of abuse and some form of abuse. Because, like, when we first met her, she was tied up in a van and she was absolutely terrified when Kit found her. So there's so much more to cover. There's so much more to uncover with her. So I definitely don't think she's going to go anytime soon. And plus, like, I feel like she has longevity, right? I can see her on the cobbles. I can see her still in Weatherfield for a few more years. So I really hope she doesn't go. And it's Theo. Honestly, I think he's just going to be sent down, to be honest. Todd and Billy deserves justice, and I think killing off Theo would be a big mistake, would be a huge mistake. So I don't think it would be Theo. I hope it's not Theo, but we'll see. And so then that just leaves Carl. And Carl could absolutely be a victim, for sure. I mean, he has a lot of enemies. Ronnie literally just threatened him multiple times in the past week. So, but I don't know. If you want his opinion, like my first instinct, I'm just leaning toward Megan. I'm leaning toward Megan. Like, yeah, Carl has a lot of enemies, but I think it's Megan. Because when the Driscolls first arrived, Corrie said that they had like this big long-term storyline, and obviously there's Megan's abuse towards Will, but I can't help but thinking there's like an even darker turn coming. I don't know. Like I feel like there's more to it. And I think maybe, I don't know, maybe Maggie kills Megan. Maybe Ben does. Who knows? I don't know. This whodunit is really, really intriguing to me. At least at the start. We'll see how it goes. But if we're talking about the whodunit, let's just dive into Betsy's interview at the station, because they gave us some really interesting clues, and I want to talk about it. So Betsy said her and Lauren discovered the body. Betsy said something really interesting that sort of stood out to me. She was going back. Her and Lauren were going out of town, but she forgot her ID, right? So she went back, and she said, that's when I saw it. She said it. Not him, not her, not even like the body, just it. And, obviously they're being deliberately vague here, like, of course. But the wording just feels important to me. Like, what did she actually see? I don't know, like, was the scene like graphic? Did she see like a weapon or something like that? She said it. That's when she saw it. She could have just said, that's when I saw the body, but she said that's when I saw it. So I don't know. It kind of jumped at me for a bit. So I don't know. Maybe it's nothing, but interesting. And she also says, it doesn't matter what you've done. No one deserves to die like that. She said something along those lines. And what really jumped out, two things jumped out at me at that line. One, no one deserves to die like that. To me, it seems like she saw something absolutely like horrible. Like, obviously seeing a deceased body is like horrible in itself, but I feel like it's sort of like messy, sort of graphic in a way. So I'm wondering, that can sort of narrow things down here, because I'm wondering if she saw something that looked like rage, like not just like a deceased body just laying on the ground, but like maybe they were like really beaten up really badly, right? Or stabbed or something. I don't know, right? But it's something. To me, it feels personal. To me, it feels like maybe like a revenge killing or something like that, like rage, maybe. I don't know. Something else that she said too, she said it doesn't matter what you've done, or like something along those lines. And to me, when I think about who's committed like truly drastic and truly horrible acts, you're looking at Carl You're looking at Megan, Theo. I mean, Maggie might be irritating, but from the residents' perspectives, she hasn't really done anything unforgivable. I mean, obviously, we know, the audience knows that she, killed her husband and she covered up Will's involvement of Daniel's assault, but that's not like the regular like folks on the street. They don't know that. And even if they find out, I mean, it only affects Ben. And I mean, Daniel, I guess, if you want to talk about the assault, but like, he's okay. Like, it's not like he's like fighting for his life, So it just doesn't seem that despicable to me to warrant somebody killing somebody, So I don't know, like when Betsy said no one deserved to die like that, my ears perked up a bit, I don't know. It seems more personal, but who knows? If it is revenge, I think that points me back to Megan, Carl, and Theo. But again, I think Theo's definitely going to be sent down. At least I hope so. And as for Carl, he has enemies, obviously. He definitely has enemies. Ronnie, Kevin, Abby. But, I don't know. Everyone already knows what he's done. So why would Ronnie, Kevin, or Abby suddenly choose April to take him out? Like, it just doesn't make sense. I mean, unless he does something else, which I'm sure he probably will. But I don't know. I'm definitely leaning toward Megan here. Something else that struck me. One of the detectives says, "You said you knew the victim." To me, that's really interesting because I don't think Betsy knows either one of them. Like, I don't think she actually interacted. I mean, maybe, she's obviously have to have seen Jody at Roy's and Maggie at the Rovers. Maybe interacting with Carl because of the wedding. I want to be at the charity hotel, so maybe Carl, I guess. But like Betsy knows of them. She doesn't like know them, and that's a difference. So I don't know. That kind of threw me off a bit. So now I have to see who she interacts with leading up to April, and I feel like hopefully Corrie will have her interact with all of them, right? So it'll kind of like throw us off a bit. But I don't know. I'm going to keep that in the back of my mind there. I want to know where Lauren is in all of this. Obviously, they couldn't like show everything. But I wonder if we're going to see her police interview as well, leading up to it in flashbacks or hopefully on April 23rd or April 24th. But yeah, I actually really love how they're setting this up. I mean, it feels really layered. I didn't particularly enjoy Joel's Whodunnit, but I think, at least I hope, this one will be a little bit better. Okay, I really do. But yeah, most of you guys think it's Megan. I agree. I think it's Megan. So my question is, if it is Megan, who kills her? Who do you think? Right. Let's go down the list. I'm going to recap everything by the potential victim. So let's start with Jody, okay? Good old Jody. Look, I might be in a minority here, but I really, really like Jody. I really do. She's intriguing. She's interesting. There's so much more that we don't know about her. But yeah, so we open on Monday with Jody working at Roy's. And after she has a sort of flirty little conversation with Carl, she tries to cozy up to David, but he has to head off to work. But later on, Jody comes back home to the Platts and she thanks Shona and David for letting her stay. And she even tries to give them money as a thank you. And Shona refuses, although David is like, yes, please, I deserve this money. But Jody decides to take them out for dinner as a thank you. And later on at the bistro, we get Jody and David. They're waiting for Shona, and Jody says, "It's clear as day. Why do I always want what Shona gets?" Oh, and she's clearly flirting. She's clearly scheming. David is completely oblivious to everything. The thing is, though, I don't think Jody is actually attracted to David. Like, I don't think she's genuinely attracted to him. And honestly, I don't even think she wants Carl, to be honest. I mean, with Carl, I think she just wants what she wants. Like, he just happens to be there. You know, if anything, I could see Carl probably catching feelings for Jody because he has pretty much burned all the bridges that he has in Weatherfield. But so maybe he kind of opens his heart a bit, I don't know, to Jody, right? But I really don't think Jody feels the same at all. I think she's just using him just to have a good time, and that's it, right? And with David, I don't know, it feels more like entitlement. Like she thinks she's entitled. She wants stability. She wants family. She wants comfort. She wants the security that Shona has. And Jody also said something when they were at the bistro. Because she was talking, because this is after Swarla was, like celebrating the fact that they're going to get married, setting a date and things like that. Really cute scene. And Jody is just like, ugh, like, don't you hate that, And David was just basically saying like, oh, like, what do you hate, like loved up couples or something along those lines. And they were like, going back and forth. And Dave was like, oh, like, you think Sean and I like boring or something? And Jody was like, no, you guys are, you're safe, right? It's safe. And that's really interesting because that's what I think she wants. I think she wants safety, and I think she wants stability. Because if you look at her upbringing, look at everything that has happened. Look at where we first saw Jody. Like, she was tied up in the back of a van trying to get away from Graham. She wants that stability and she wants that safety, and she feels like she's entitled to it, and she's going to get it by any means necessary. What do you guys think? Is Jody just like a manipulative person, just to the core, or do you think it's like something a bit more to her? Like, what do you all think? Do you like Jody? Do you hate Jody? Like I said, I really enjoy Jody. I think he's a dope character, but I'm interested in hearing about what you all think about this character. To me, she's just interesting, and I really hope they don't kill her off because her story is just getting started, Now, that being said, though, Jody is a schemer. Like, you can't trust her at all. I would never trust her a day in my life. Not at all. She's manipulative. She manipulates Mel into thinking Bernie likes him, and that's so dangerous. Like, Mel has been very overbearing towards Bernie. Like, he has like these like obsessive tendencies, and that's why I think his wife actually started talking to Roy because of that, right? Like, she probably felt like just smothered. And I think you can see that starting to happen with his sort of obsession with Bernie. Like, he just won't take no for an answer. And it's being spurred on as well by Jody. Like, Jody, like, she has no reason to do that. How in the world would she do that? Like, it's just insane. It's absolutely insane. Jody is so manipulative. Like, she's so manipulative. So I'm afraid for Bernie, if I'm being honest. I'm afraid because she's not at the right place. And she can't even reach out to anyone because how would she explain it? How would she explain this to Dev or to anyone, right? Without telling the truth, without spilling the truth, the fact that she almost cheated on Dev. So, man, Jody is definitely pulling strings, for sure. She is definitely manipulative. I would never trust her. Never. And I will say, you know who else I would never trust? Carl Webster. Never in my life. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about the Websters, okay? He's another potential victim. Carl Webster. So Monday, Carl is at Roy's, and he sees Abby and Kevin. And, Abby and Kevin, they starting to get that groove back, right? They're starting to get back into the swing of things, of being cordial and respectful toward each other. I really love it. It felt like old times. Y'all know I'm not a huge fan of Kevin, but I do anything that makes Kevin, like, stop yelling. I am here for it, okay? So if him and Abby being friends and being chummy, makes him stop yelling and screaming and being self-centered, that it's fine with me, okay? I'm here for it. But yeah, like, Carl tries to basically have a go at them, but Abby absolutely puts him in his place. And I love to see it. And I love to see it. Later on, Carl's at the Rovers. He's clearly drunk out of his mind. He's trying to pick fights. But honestly, Kevin isn't biting. And again, I love to see it. Kevin was so cool and calm, okay? He was like, no, not me, not today, Carl. Not me, not today. And I love that, okay? Anything that makes him just like mellow, I'm like, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. But yeah, Carl is spiraling, bro. He's spiraling. Like, drinking all the time, just an absolute hot mess, okay? Just a mess. So next day, Carl decides he is going to set fire or pay somebody to set fire to a Cherry Hotel because Debbie fired him, apparently, right? It's really frustrating because, to me, Carl has done so many awful things to Debbie, to Kevin, to Abby, and a whole lot of others. And yeah, he refuses to take responsibility. He refuses to hold himself accountable. Like, yes, he had a very difficult childhood, but he framed Debbie before he even knew that she was his mom. So, like, what excuse is that? Like, at what point does a tragic backstory stop excusing terrible behavior? Like, I don't get it. Like, I completely understand his anger towards Debbie. I feel like, yes, he's justified to be angry at her. Yes, of course. But his actions? No, absolutely not. And, like, at some point, you have to realize that your awful past didn't make you an awful person. Like, you just chose to be it. Like, you just chose to be an awful, horrible, despicable person. Speaking of Debbie, though, she's inside now. She's inside and she's already making waves. Oh my goodness, my poor Debbie. It's so hard. It's so hard to see her inside and dealing with her diagnosis on her own. It is so heartbreaking to me, okay? Like, I don't want this for Debbie. Like, and then we still have to deal with her condition months from now. Even if she's released today or tomorrow, we still want to have to see Debbie pretty much deteriorate. Like, come on, Corrie. Like, why would you do that? Why would you do this, Coronation Street? It's just so sad. Knowing that what's to come is just so sad. But yes, all right. So Debbie is inside. She sees Lou, and I'm so happy that Lou's back. So happy. She's such a good character, and I cannot wait. I hope she's back eventually full time. Like, she's dope. But yeah, she calls Lou Abby twice, and that's not great. Lou's trying to keep her head down and just get through her sentence, and Debbie is like unintentionally causing a lot of tension. Debbie confides in Lou about her early onset dementia, and Lou sort of becomes her guardian angel almost. And Debbie definitely needs one. Definitely. Because Paula, one of the inmates, clearly has it out for Debbie over something like really petty from like years ago. I think she like kicked her out or something because she was drunk. Like something so petty. But yeah, she definitely have to be on the lookout. Like, Paula has her sights set on Debbie for sure. But back at the Chariot, Carl is setting his plan in motion. He talks to this guy. I'm going to call him Peter 2.0 because he looks just like Peter from the side. Just like Peter from the side. So Peter 2.0 comes in the Chariot and scopes out the place, and he reports back to Carl. But Ronnie catches them talking. So Ronnie corners Peter 2.0 and threatens him. And honestly, you can tell this guy really doesn't want to do it. He wants no part of it, to be honest. And it doesn't really take much for Ronnie to convince him to back out. So he's like, all right, I don't want to do this anyway. And he just leaves. He just leaves. And then later that night, Ronnie corners Carl at the Rovers and he threatens him. Ronnie's doing a lot of threatening. They're setting this up. And we all know what Ronnie is capable of because he almost killed Joel. So, watch out, Carl. Watch out. But Ronnie is like obviously extremely upset, just like ragging on Carl. And Carl, he's just so smug with it. He drops a bombshell. He drops a bombshell on Ronnie. And he tells Ronnie that he's not Debbie's brother. He is Debbie's son. So later in the week, we're back with Debbie on the inside, in the slammer, as they say. So Paula goes to Debbie's cell and they have a little chat. And Paula ends up like breaking down over her ex-boyfriend. And look, I'm not gonna lie, this scene was actually really hilarious. Not even gonna lie. I think the script was written by Jonathan Harvey, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure it was Jonathan, because you can sort of tell when he writes the script, because for one, he pays attention to the vets, and two, he has great comedic lines. Love it. Shout out to Jonathan Harvey. His comedic timing is like really, really sharp. I love it. He's so witty. And he has a background in comedy, actually. So yeah, like he's dope. He's a dope writer. The timing is great. The rhythm is great. Like the punchlines is dope. Yeah, everything's really great. Everything's really coming together. And this episode really has like a lot of light moments. And I'm talking about how he sort of uplifts the veteran actors, and it definitely shows in this episode. I mean, Rita, there was a scene with like Rita, Brian, and Mary at the top of the episode. Hope has some really cool lines, really funny lines, the words of Rita. And honestly, I mean, it's just a blessing when the veteran actors can sort of take center stage and just shine, And I absolutely love Rita. Her facial expressions in the episode was so good. It was so funny. I love it. And yeah, it's just an absolute treat to just watch these veterans act, because we know they can act. So definitely more storylines for Rita, for Ken, for Roy. We need the vets, man. We need the vets here, man. This beautiful to watch. But yeah, definitely shout out to Jonathan Harvey for that one. But back to the prison scene and Jonathan's comedic lines. Okay, Paula's like crying about her ex. And, he's saying like, oh, he was the one, he's so lovely. He's like, he's so lovable and everything. And Debbie asks, well, what was he in for, Ken? And Paula says, like, I think it's just something like aggravated assault or something like that, or like GBH, like something along those lines. And then she follows it up with, well, he didn't mean to chop the man's finger off. His hand slipped. Bro, I lost it. It's so funny. The humor, man, like I love it. This is what I want, Coronation Street. Please take notes. This is what I want. I want the comedic bits. Like, y'all know I love some dark stuff, but I love the comedic bits. I think it needs to be a balance, man. It's just so funny. And like these comedic bits really just make everything come together. And it was another line. It was like, she follows it up like deadpans. She follows it up like, you can get really good at plastic hands these days. Like, it's just, the delivery was amazing. The timing was great. It was absolute gold, man. Like, both actresses nailed it 100%, man. 100%. It's just, it was just so good. Like, I love these moments, man. Just a breath of fresh air, to be honest. And, yeah, but the laughs, though, it kind of stopped. Because Debbie said something that Paula didn't like, and Paula ended up like punching the mess out of her, gave her a good old shiner, and we gotta watch it back. But later that day, Ronnie and Kevin visited Debbie and immediately obviously noticed the bruise, and Kevin asks like, what happened, who did it, the usual questions. Obviously Debbie can't really say anything because it's prison. But then Ronnie tells Debbie what Carl said to him, that Carl is Debbie's son. And he doesn't want to believe it, but he can tell from her face that it is true. Carl is Debbie's son. Man, can we talk about this real quick? Can we talk about the acting in the scene? Okay, the direction was beautiful. Sue's performance was incredible. Like, honestly, man, the subtleness of it all, it was great. And, there was argument between Kevin and Debbie for a bit. And during that argument, it's like she could barely look at Ronnie. She could barely look at Ronnie. You can see the shame and the guilt and the fear and the regret like all over her face. And Ronnie, oh my goodness. Ronnie too, like he didn't say a word. He was just taking it all in, and you can feel like that betrayal. Oh my gosh, and that anger. It's like after all they've been through, like she didn't tell Ronnie, right? You can see it in his face. It was the tension was great. Like it was absolutely brilliant. It was brilliant. Like honestly, everyone in that scene, they brought that A game for real. Like legit. It was a masterclass. It was a master. Sue, Michael, Vincent, like it was a masterclass. Everybody was on point, 100%. So later on though, Ronnie and Kevin find Carl and he roughs him up. And again, I'm not mad about it, bro. I'm not mad about it. I'm here for it. He deserves to be roughed up a bit. Ronnie threatens him for like, I don't know, the 5th time this week. Kevin punches him. Good on Kevin. Thank you, Kevin, for doing that. You know, I love the team up. I love the team up. And it was very satisfying, to be honest, like to see Carl get roughed up a bit and get what's coming to him. You know, I do wonder though, what's going to push him over the edge? I feel like something is going to push Carl over the edge, you know? I'm intrigued. I'm waiting. Let's move on. I'm going to move on to Megan, and we're going to move on to Maggie. So let's start with the Driscolls as a whole, first of all. Okay. So this week, we started with Will still being in holding. Ben, Eva, Ollie, and Glenda are all talking it through. Ollie thinks Will did it, or has at least the potential to do it, right? But Ben is just not having it. He immediately pushes back. And Eva tells Ollie to kind of ease off a bit, but she also kind of admits that she thinks Will might have done it too. And then she said something that stood out to me. She said that Will is not the only one with a temper, and we know she's talking about Ben. We've seen his temper. We know how upset he can get, especially if someone hurts his family. We saw how he was about to rough up Daniel multiple times, little old Daniel. So he obviously cares about his family. He would do anything for his family. And again, they're setting things up. I love it. So at the station, Ben goes to collect Will. Maggie's already there. She claims that Will was with her, all that good stuff. So remember though, they're both hiding the fact that Will attacked Daniel and Maggie covered it up. So I'm wondering, Will going to be the one that covers for Maggie? Maybe Maggie finds out. Maybe they find out what Megan did and Maggie kills Megan, and then Will covers it up. I mean, yes, he thinks that he's in love with Megan, but family is first. He is loyal to his family. Maybe Will covers it up. Who knows? Meanwhile, though, Eva pulls Megan aside and she asks outright, like, could Will have done it? Like, is there another side of him that they're not seeing? And Megan just spins everything around and says, like, oh, Daniel thinks that Will has a crush on her and got a little bit jealous. Eva is just still kind of suspicious. Like, she's like, something else is going on. So, will she be the one to uncover everything? Who knows? So the next day, Daniel and Megan are talking, and look, I'm so sorry for the Daniel fans, but Daniel is such a lovesick puppy. He falls so hard, and he falls fast every single time, and he gets his heart broken. You know, it reminds me, if there's any American soap watchers listening, which I hope you are, if you are familiar with The Bold and the Beautiful, he reminds me of somebody on there, and I know you guys know exactly what I'm talking about before I say it. He reminds me of Carter. Carter, played by Lawrence St. Victor. Oh my gosh, Carter and Daniel are the same person. I'm telling you, they're lovesick puppies. They fall in love with the first woman that pays him any mind. He thinks he's so in love. ready to move in with this person and marry this person, he falls hard. He falls hard, and he is going to get his heart broken yet again. Add it to the list yet again. I don't know. I just don't understand why Daniel falls so hard for these women. I don't understand. He's like just drawn to it. God. Anyways, later on, Daniel goes to the Rovers with Megan to apologize to Will. Will accepts the apology in such like a smug way. Obviously, there's still tension between Daniel and Ben. So later on, we have Sam. Right? We get to Sam, and he's very determined to get the evidence that he needs to prove Megan's inappropriate behavior towards Will. And so he follows Will, and he sees him go into Leanne's flat to see Megan. And now he pulls out his phone, and he times how long Will stays there. This little dude is so intuitive. That week, Megan continues to manipulate. She brings up his late coursework. You know, she just chips away at him, like emotionally. She uses whatever she can to just like terrorize this little dude. Any and everything that she gets, she's going to use against him. And I'm worried for Sam, and I really hope he reaches out to somebody, because look, Sam is smart. He's intelligent. He's very intuitive. But sometimes he can get over his head. And I'm telling you, if she hurts Sam, that's it. That's it. I'm going down there. I'm going to find her. No, but I do wonder how far she's going to go with this, you know. What if Sam has somehow a hand in this whodunit? And obviously I'm not saying he's going to kill Megan. I definitely don't think that. But I don't know, what if he plays a bigger role? Like, I hope he has a hand in taking her down, for sure, 100%. So at the same night, Sam hides a camera in the living room, hoping to get some evidence. And then of that week, he goes to a concert with Will. You know, Megan has basically told Will, like, hey, Sam is on to us. You have to do something about it. You know, try to, like, be mates or something, right? Just to distract him for a bit, something. So that's what he does. Will takes him to a concert. So later on, Nick goes to the Rovers to thank Will for taking Sam to a concert. Then we get a scene outside of Sam and Will drinking. That's not who Sam is, right? So you can really tell how this is impacting him, right? Daniel catches them, and Daniel sends Sam's over to the bistro, you know, with to talk to Nick and Toya. Nick basically tries to figure out why in the world Sam is acting out again, because it's completely out of character. Nick assumes it's school and stress, and he's like basically putting words in Sam's mouth. And Toya, bless her soul, she really suggests like, hey, maybe we should just ask Sam and have Sam say what's going on, right? Instead of filling in the blanks for him. And I love that. You know, good on Toya for that. But Sam basically like struggles, and eventually he just agrees with Nick's and just say, yeah, it's just the school stress. But I don't think Toya is buying it, and good on Toya for that. Good on Toya. I do hope that Leanne finds out though, you know, like let's bring Leanne into this. But yeah, I definitely love Sam, but he's carrying so much on his own. And honestly, the choices he's making, like spying and like the hidden cameras, I think it might backfire on him. I think it might. And Megan brought this up too, how he could actually get in trouble for that. Like if she would turn him in. He's already seen as like the weird kid. So that on top of that is just not going to be a good look for him. I didn't mention, so obviously Megan finds the camera, right? And she sort of, her and Will give like a performance. You know, she put on a show for it, right? Acting as if like Will has this one-sided crush that she's like rejecting. You know, it's so manipulative and calculating, to be honest. And I mentioned it recently, but like, yeah, she definitely corners Sam and threatens him and just says like, no one's going to believe you. You're going to be sent to prison for secretly filming inside someone's home. You're a creep. You're a pervert. You're a voyeur. All this crazy stuff like that. I mean, she just completely flips the power dynamic. And honestly, man, she is vile. She's vile, isn't she? She's horrible. But honestly, Beth, she's playing her brilliantly. Oh my gosh. Beth Nixon, get your awards, girl. Get your awards, girl. She's playing her part. She is playing her part to the T. So let's move on to our last potential victim, Theo. And honestly, it's not much in this week about Theo and Todd. Todd contemplates, doing what he has to do to get out of this situation. Was one of the shots was he was like washing the dishes and he was holding a knife and he's contemplating that. Is this what I'm going to have to do to get out of this situation? I mean, he feels like it might be his only way out. And I mean, I've said this before, but honestly, I really hope they don't kill Theo off. I don't think they will. At least I hope not. I do think he needs to face the courts. He needs to be held accountable for what he's done. So yeah, it's really not much about Theo and Todd. That was pretty much the only thing. I mean, we have a date for their wedding. Yeah, I think it was March 20th. I've said it before. I do think they're doing a great job with the storyline between Todd and Theo in showcasing the abuse that people face like constantly on a daily basis. It's not just physical abuse, it's emotional abuse. It's financial abuse. It's restricting food. It's forcing you to work out all the time, right? Like these forms of abuse, it just keeps adding and adding up. So I do think they're doing a brilliant job portraying this. But I will say this, I cannot wait until this storyline is over. Like I am counting down the days because it does get uncomfortable. And obviously it's supposed to be uncomfortable, right? You're supposed to be uncomfortable. If you're not uncomfortable, something not right. It's a storyline about abuse. But it's definitely, I'm just like, okay, all right. Another week of Todd and Theo. All right, let's go, So I'm hoping that it wraps up soon. What I think is, and I haven't read any spoilers or anything like that, but I think it's going to be multiple things going on. You have Swarla wedding, of course. Yay. But you also have the Whodunnit. But I think on the back end, you're also going to have Maggie's secret come out. And maybe even the Theo and Todd thing sort of wind down. So I don't know. We'll see. But I do like how they're setting this whodunit up. And you know what? I know some people may feel like the potential victims aren't exactly beloved, and I agree. I mean, there's some people on that list that's not really that great. They're pretty vile. But maybe that's the point. I feel like I don't think we're supposed to care about the victims here. I think we're supposed to care about the consequences of everything. Like who killed this person and how is that going to affect them? For instance, for instance, Joe, he was a horrible person, right? But Dee, remember we thought that Dee killed Joe? What the effect that had on her? You know what I'm saying? So it's not just about the victim. It's about who did it and how does that impact them and the people around them, and how does that impact the landscape of it all, So I don't know. I'm interested in it. I'm very intrigued by this. I'm wondering things like, the one thing I'm really curious about is this going to be a crime of like, not crime of passion, but like rage, like in the moment, right? Something that's like in a moment, full of rage, or is it going to be something that's premeditated? That is what it is. Because if it's premeditated, then yes, I can see Carl going. But if it's rage, like straight up, like in the moment, then I think it's Megan. So it can go either way. But I feel like that would be really interesting if it's premeditated and it's not just a spur of the moment thing, right? And that would be very hard to defend. So I'm excited. I'm trying to see, like, leading up to April, who feels the most cornered, right? I was looking at the faces, like when they was doing a 360. I can't remember who directed that episode. I want to say it's Suri Krishnama. And I think it was a well directed episode. I didn't really particularly like the 360, like the spin at the end, because it was like, okay, that's a lot. But But anyways, yeah, it was a great episode. But I was trying to look at the faces, and Maggie's face looked very interesting because she didn't look hurt. She didn't look like she was in pain. She looked like, I don't know. I feel like maybe Maggie is the one that covers up the murder. Like, I don't think maybe she covered up the murder, or maybe she saw the murder, or I don't know. Maybe, you know what? Maybe she's not even directly involved in it. Maybe that look on her face was the fact that one of her secrets came out that night, and that's why she looks the way she looks. So maybe they're throwing it off. Maybe all of them had something that happens. Like Jody, I think, was looking like terrified, looking around like, oh my goodness. So I think somebody's after her. Like her lies pretty much caught up to her. I think Maggie's secret came out that night. I think Megan, because she had like a bloody nose or something, and a nice haircut, by the way. Love the French. And a coat, like she was going out to town or something. I was trying to see their attire, like what were they wearing? Because then we can see who was like at the wedding. Because I don't think either one of them was going to be invited to the wedding, to be honest. I mean, the Platts are going to be there, obviously. I would assume so. So maybe Jody would be there, but I'm trying to remember her outfit, but I don't think she had anything like particularly like dressy. So I don't know. I'm have to rewatch. Gotta be clues there somewhere. But I don't know, it's so interesting. I'm just thinking about whoever dies, how would that impact Weatherfield, right? How would it impact everyone else on the Cowboys? Because if Carl dies, so that devastates Debbie. It fractures the Websters all over again. And it puts Kevin and Ronnie in the forefront. And just like imagine Debbie carrying that guilt in prison. And also the stress is going to progress her disease, right? She can't have it. If Maggie dies, I mean, that shatters Ben and the Driscolls. But then you have Megan, and if Megan dies, this is why I think Megan dies, okay? You have Daniel, you have the Driscolls, you have Sam, Leanne, and Toya, and it also opens the door for a long-term fallout. So this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking Megan dies. I'm thinking Ben kills her. And I'm thinking Eva and Maggie and Will and Ollie covers it up. And that's how the family comes together. That's how Maggie starts to respect Eva. It can happen, right? Like this week I'm like, obviously it's Megan that dies, but next week I'll be like, well, obviously it's Jody that dies, right? Like I just love how that's how they're setting it up, and I love how they're doing it. It's very intriguing, and I just hope it follows through, and I hope the payoff is good. I'm hoping this one has a few twists and turns, and yeah, but so far so good. That's where we're at now. You have my thoughts. I rambled on about the Whodunnit. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Overall, I really enjoyed this week's episode. I would give it a 3 out of 5. I'm super happy about Swarla. I'm really excited about that. They've come a long way. Long way. There's some spoilers that's going to be coming out soon about Swarla. Get ready for that. I don't know what's happening there, but I am excited. A bit nervous, but hey, we survived, Becky. We survived, Becky. We can survive anything. But yeah, no, I'm really excited for the wedding. Again, really important. Just representation is so important, especially nowadays in soaps. You know, we still don't have enough representation in soaps. Like, let's just be real. And this is soaps across the board: American soaps, UK soaps, like Australian soaps, New Zealand soaps, like across the board. But yeah, I think it's definitely very important. I can't wait to see what comes next. What do you guys think? I'm really super excited for this about this Whodunnit. Your thoughts? So definitely comment below. What do you guys think? Before I wrap everything up, though, there's another big piece of news that's been going around, and I want to talk about it. It's about the production and the future of Coronation Street and soaps in general. So there are reports that the big boss, the power that be, so they're planning a major production overhaul for both Coronation Street and Emmerdale, and that includes like the way the show looks, how it's made, or the way that it's made, and even some characters might appear like outside the main show and like micro what do they call, like mini episodes or something like that. And yeah, there's been some talk about it. So I just want to give my 2 cents. Not a huge thing. I just want to really give my 2 cents here. Look, off the bat, I'll be real with you. I don't think soaps need to feel like high-end Netflix dramas. I don't. And look, you guys know I love cinematography. I love production, TV production. I love soap. I love soap operas. Okay. And I love screenwriting, filmmaking. You guys know that. And I love the darker look. Like my favorite stunt, or my favorite episode was the limo stunt in Emmerdale. Like that is definitely in my top episodes. I love that. I love it when soaps do that. However, I do think that there should be a balance. Like we don't need to be a high-end, Netflix drama or a high-end BBC drama all the time, right? Some of my favorite moments in Corrie are just like when they're just having fun and they're just, like when Ben, Tim, and Steve were just shooting the breeze. Like I love things like that. Not everything has to be this high-end cinematic look, and not everything has to be this high-end drama all the time. It doesn't have to be gritty all the time. Like moments where characters are just having a laugh at the Rovers, or just like having an interesting, like funny, cheeky misunderstanding, or just like classic stuff. That's soap to me. That's soap. That's what make it feel real and familiar and grounded. Like you don't always need cinematic camera angles or like intense scores, to make a moment special or stick. Like sometimes it's literally just like, here you go, here's people sitting around the table with like static shocks, simple things. Like that's all you need sometimes. Like it's just a balance again. And I am excited to see what 2026 brings. I honestly think the genre is about pushing the boundaries, right? And we always will push the boundaries. I mean, we had Corriedale, Hollyoaks and Brookside had a crossover, right? Like we are doing big things for soaps. Like the industry is doing big things and it's constantly pushing the envelope and going beyond boundaries, and I love it. But I do hope that there's a balance. Like cinematic, bold storytelling, like it has its place, obviously, but so does just being a soap. And like about these like micro dramas, that's what it's called, like the verticals and micro dramas. Personally, I'm not feeling it, but I just don't like micro dramas in general. It feels like our attention spans in general are just getting shorter and shorter. I just personally don't gel with it. But that's just me. I really appreciate like long form storytelling. I love long form, slow building arcs, right? Tension, character development, things like that. And I don't know, I want soaps to continue that. You don't have to change what's not broken. But again, I don't know, maybe it's just me. But that being said, let's not forget soaps like Emmerdale. Let's go Emmerdale Farm. The whole reason why Emmerdale exists today is because somebody pushed the envelope, right? If it wasn't for those huge stunts, remember the plane crash? That was a huge stunt. The plane crash. I mean, that was huge. And if y'all remember, during that time, ratings and things like that, like right before that, so I don't know. Sometimes it's good to sort of really push the boundaries and go beyond what you think soaps are or supposed to be, right? But yeah, I mean, look, soaps should take risk. I am a firm believer that soaps should take risk. Like when the Corriedale thing came along, I was like, wow, they doing this? They doing that? Man, what they gonna do for the 70th anniversary? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, wow, like, it's limitless. Like, I remember when Vicky Thomas directed the limo crash, and I was like, yo, this is what soaps can be. And I'm looking at American soaps like, oh, okay, so y'all doing that, right? And it's like, soaps can push the boundaries, man. Like, this is a drama that allows boundaries to be pushed, that allows people to take more risks, right? But at the same time, I feel like, again, it should be a balance. It should be a balance. You can definitely innovate without losing the heart of what makes a soap a soap. So I feel like it's a very important time right now for soaps. I think it's very important to push forward and take risk and bring in new audiences, especially the younger folks. But I do also think that there is space for those who have been watching Coronation Street and soap operas since they were younger. But yeah, anyways, that's it for my rambling. I just wanted to point that out. I just wanted to say that and share my thoughts. But I definitely want to hear from you guys. I mean, what do you guys think? Do you want Corrie to feel more cinematic? Do you want it to stay traditional? Maybe a balance? What are your thoughts on like microdramas? Or it's like spin-offs, because I'm actually curious about that. Because I just have my personal opinions about like shorts and microdramas and vertical dramas and all that. But I don't know, maybe it could be interesting. You never know. I mean, would the spin-offs be canon? Like, I don't know. It's not really like unheard of. Like, there's American soaps that have like these little like mini spin-off. Actually, they was doing many little spin-offs and stuff in microdramas in like the early 2000s. So yeah, if you really want to think about it, UK soaps are kind of behind with that. So, but I don't know. We'll see. It's interesting. I just want to hear your thoughts. Like, definitely comment below if you're listening to this on YouTube. Comment, or anywhere really, just comment. You can reply to us on Twitter. You can send us DMs. We are always up to discussing soaps and hearing your thoughts. Whether you like something, you don't like something, whatever the case may be, definitely share it. Just keep it respectful, keep it 100. But yeah, thank you so much for listening. For me rambling on for like an hour. I really appreciate you guys, honestly. We have some amazing stuff happening, and thank you all for sticking with us. It's been a journey. It's been a huge journey, but we're loving it. I definitely love it. I love soap, and I want to continue talking about soaps. But yeah, thank you for listening. This has been Stateside Street, and you all have been absolutely fabulous. Stay safe, everybody. See ya.